as of yesterday, Sunset Voodoo, we just uploaded 7 songs that are coming out at the end of this month. I didn't get to learn all the things that I wanted to learn from my dad, like a lot of people got, you know?
Hello, my fellow Martians. My name is Harry Mars, and this is the On Mars Pod, where we take a deep dive into creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and other inspiring Martians alike.
I was like, I want to make my mom proud. I want her to see me do something bigger. The reason I do it, I go out there and I play these gigs. I just like making people happy. And to really kind of like get over like those kinds of things, I learned to write. It was like therapy to me.
Hello, my fellow Martians. Today on Mars, we are joined by a singer and performer and recording artist. We got Lucas Roth in the building.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Thanks for being here, brother.
Oh, no, thanks for having me, dude.
So Lucas hit me up a few months ago at this point, and I appreciate your patience, but we've been so booked up with some crazy guests and everything's been going wild, so I'm glad that we were able to finally make it happen after all this time.
Glad you're popping off, dude. You
got
some cool stuff going, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. I mean,
I seen you and the homie Danny on you guys grind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I met you guys over at
the Odd Squad.
Yeah, the Odd Squad studio with,
that's right.
With
Kaleidoscope
Josh.
Kid. Yep. That's right. All alumni of the pod. We're going to get Odd Squad on here soon, too. We've talked about that, but that's another one of those guests where it's just like keeps getting pushed. They're busy, too, though, so those guys are grinding.
Yeah, I was playing with Optimistical, the band. I was doing guitar for them for a while, and I know we played at a couple of festivals.
With Odd Squad?
And Odd Squad would be on the same bill,
nice.
But like we didn't like play like directly together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For sure. Hey, well, you got connected to a bunch of people that we're already connected to. I mean, and we haven't even gotten to this, but he used to play bass for a band called Sunset Voodoo with our boy Joey Gutos, who has been on the pod before. Early guest. Joey was on pretty early on.
Yeah, is that when you first started? Or
yeah,
what?
Kind of like in the first 20 episodes, I want to say he was one of those guests. So he was kind of one of those guys that I hit up pretty early on to get him on, because me and him had connections through Esteban Obregon. You know Esteban?
Yeah,
SLS?
Yeah, of course.
So just a bunch of ties, man. And you've worked with Stravs too, which is sick.
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
Cool. But yeah, man.
We used to open for Catastro at the Marquee Theater with Sunset Voodoo back in the day, man. Yeah,
I mean, those are the golden days.
Those are golden days, you know, back selling tickets, you know. sell those hundo and tickets, you know. You got to get 100 ticket sales,
That's
man.
crazy.
You want to come back, you want to get a good slot. Impress the booking people, and Donnie Johnson was the guy running the show back in the day. I don't think he does it anymore.
Yeah, it was a different time. I mean, you've been in the industry since what, 2010, 11, something like that?
Right after I graduated, I started playing, shows probably like 2011, 2012. I started having gigs.
Okay.
My first show that I ever played, I just played bass for like a Chiba Hut 420 show.
Classic.
And I was a freshman in high school. And
Nice.
It was me, my older brother, and Brendan McBride. Do you know who Brendan McBride is?
I don't. Is he like a local artist here still?
He is the new bass player in the Black Moods.
Hell yeah, man. No, I wanted to go back though, before you actually playing shows. I mean, the early days, you mentioned your brother, you guys were playing music together. You were born in Grand Rapids, and then you moved in 96, you said, right?
Yeah, no, we moved out here in 96.
Yep.
It was right before I started elementary school.
Okay.
I started preschool as soon as I moved out here at Bethany Church right there on Price and Guadalupe.
Wow. Dang, man. So those days in Grand Rapids, you don't really remember that, which is crazy. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he was also born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So this is just another small world situation.
Small world thing, yeah.
But do you remember any of the time in Grand Rapids before? Because I know you said, I mean, we were just talking before the camera was rolling, you got like a two years old, you remember those early days.
Yeah, it marks some big memories in my life moving out here, driving across the country to come to Arizona.
For sure.
And, I remember, pretty vividly, being like 4 or 5 years old, moving to Arizona. And I remember some stuff before that too, little like, basic trips and stuff. And I mean, you know how Grand Rapids was, like big backyards. You got like an acre plot. You know, like here it's not like you don't have like as big of like land and stuff like that. I remember having like a big old like acre backyard that you could practically, your dog would get lost out there.
Right. For sure. You got the swing set.
Like, hey, where's Dudley?
Totally, man. No, it's so different. I mean, there's basements and yards out there, whereas out here it's just one level and rocks.
One level, rocks, and maybe a pool and some cactuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Some cacti. Forgive me.
If you're lucky, that's a luxury item. Yeah, the cacti in your yard is a luxury.
The cacti with a nice little flower.
Exactly. Palm trees and cacti are the luxury items out here. So
it's got to have a flower though, otherwise it's just boring.
Today's episode is sponsored by Lantern Coffee, based out of my hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you're still sipping on that gas station coffee, this is your sign to get your life together. Lantern does coffee the right way. Whole beans, small batch, straight from the source. I personally get 2 bags a month myself. It's what fuels us here every day on Mars. If you want to taste what I'm talking about, go to lanterncoffee.com, use promo code ONMARS for 20% off of your first order. That's lanterncoffee.com, use promo code ONMARS, 20% off your first order. Treat yourself, because friends don't let friends drink bad coffee. Let's get back to the show. Yeah, exactly. So then when you moved out, you said you were 4 or 5 years old around that time.
Yeah, 96, I was 4.
Okay, so then when you moved out here, what was kind of the influences in the house? Like because I know you and your brother were playing music together, but like before even that, like what were you guys listening to? Like what were your parents listening to?
Well, everything really. My parents were eclectic on music. I heard from my mom that I didn't really get to talk a lot with my dad about a lot of his music influences, because he passed away when I was 11, right before my 11th birthday. He passed away.
I'm so sorry.
Congestive heart failure. Yeah.
Damn. I didn't know that.
Didn't catch it in time. He had cardiomyopathy, and he had to have a heart transplant, and he didn't live through like the rejection and stuff that you get like heart meds and stuff like that for like anti-rejection, and we assume he probably had some sort of episode with that. But
damn,
it's a really common thing for transplant recipients to go through rejection. It's like your white blood cells basically attack
the new heart,
the new organ, as though it's a foreign bacteria or something.
Right. Dang. So damn, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Yeah.
But I heard that one of his favorite bands was like The Cure.
Okay, so that's
he was really into them, and my mom listened to everything growing up, but me and my brother, I remember first CDs we really ever bought was like Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it was when Now That's What I Call Music.
I love it.
Yeah, so we had like old stuff like that. CDs, like I remember Lenny Kravitz 5 had just come out like when I was little, and we would like use our would use our allowance to buy, CDs back when that was a thing.
Yeah, dude.
Now it's not a thing anymore.
For sure.
Yeah, buying CDs, going to Virgin Records at the Arizona Mills Mall.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild, dude.
That was childhood for me. Was saving up money, going to Virgin Records, being like, "What's the new hottest album out?" Oh, like I remember Californication was probably out for like a year or two by the time I bought it, and I remember it was blowing up on the radio.
For sure.
I remember when, By the Way, Chili Peppers came out, and, all the music videos and stuff back in the day when like MTV was popping off with the music videos. You'd wake up in the morning. I'd be sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, watching music videos in the morning before I'd go to school.
I love it, dude. Dude, it makes sense that you were listening to those guys because I saw online you list like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jimi Hendrix, Outkast. Those are some of your influences
They're
early
like
on.
Jack Johnson.
Yeah, for sure.
I like some of the like softer, sweeter music. I'm a big like jazz blues fan. I love blues music and old school stuff. Lately, I've been jamming out on a lot of like Ray Charles.
Ooh, nice, dude. Yeah, I love that. So you picked up a guitar at 10 years old, is that right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty early on, obviously. I mean, that's like 3rd, 4th grade, something like that.
Yeah, it was 5th grade.
Oh, nice, 5th grade.
It was the year my dad passed away. It was like literally that summer, and like right as he passed away that year, I remember I just kind of like used that was like my outlet of expression. That was the thing. I took my time and my energy and I focused it on that.
Wow.
And to really kind of like get over like those kinds of things, I learned to write.
Right.
Dude, I would write.
It was therapy.
It was like therapy to me.
Yeah.
I just wrote a lot. All of my teachers encouraged it. I did that even before my dad passed away. I remember as far back as 2nd, 3rd grade, I was the kid that like, oh, write your sentence and, write your, what was it? Your spelling word, like how you'd have like spelling words and they're like, all right, use it in a sentence. Oh, dude, my sentence would be like a big old run on, like long sentence. Oh, here, I'm going to write you like a story.
Yeah. That already songwriting.
Yeah.
No. So were your parents musicians as well?
Yes.
Okay.
My dad played the cornet.
Ooh,
so
nice. Like professionally or just in school?
In like school and stuff. Yeah, in like marching band, I think.
Very
he played
good.
The cornet. It's
Very
like
good.
I believe that's like a
trumpet.
I believe it's like a smaller trumpet.
Exactly what it is. Yeah, exactly.
And then my mom and her brother played accordion.
Wow, that's random.
Yeah,
so why did they play?
They actually played accordion, and it was like they even went to like a state championship as like a duo, like playing accordion. And it was my mom and my uncle Jim. And and I remember it was like a month or two before my dad passed away. Like a bunch of family came out there. Our cousin Adam Geringer actually brought his guitar to Arizona from Crown Point, Indiana. That's where they're all from, where my mom's from.
Nice.
My dad's from St. Louis, and then they just happened to live in Grand Rapids when when me and Jared were born.
Yeah.
And then
Dang, dude. So yeah, that's crazy. The accordion thing. I didn't expect your mom to play that. That's awesome.
It's like one of those random instruments where you're like, oh damn.
Yeah,
totally. You wouldn't expect like my mom to have been really good at like an instrument like that, but she was really good at playing the accordion when she was younger.
I love that. I mean, there's only a few genres where that like goes in.
we had an upright piano at my house growing up too.
Oh, awesome.
So that kind of like had a little bit of influence in me wanting to get into music. And then
did you feel like when your dad passed that you almost had like it felt like to follow in his footsteps of being a musician still, or like his love for music, or was it not that?
No, not necessarily that at all, really. It was more like I didn't even really, I mean, sadly enough, obviously I know a lot about my dad, but I mean, dude, he died when I was young.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to learn all the things that I wanted to learn from my dad, like a lot of people got. You know? And I mean, that's one challenge I've kind of, learned to express in my life. It's like, maybe there's a few things that I had to catch up on that all the other dudes that I grew up with, where it's like, oh, you learned this from your dad. I didn't learn that shit until I learned it myself, doing it hands on when I was in my fucking 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The things that, your dad probably would have like taught you the life lesson on. I didn't get that experience, unfortunately. I had my mom, and she was always there, but we're talking a single mother of 3 boys, living on, her working 2 jobs and getting laid off sometimes when I was in like high school, living on Social Security and unemployment from like, Social Security from my dad passing away and unemployment. And my mom used that to go back to school. She was really busy. I spent a lot of time by myself with my guitar and a record player in high school, like an old school, like vinyl record player. My brother and I helped one of my mom's friends clean out like her house when she was moving, and we found like 3 milk crates full of like old school,
Classics.
like 70s, 80s, 90s, like some from the 60s, even like old school records where it's like vinyl records where it's like
beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a way to get your collection started.
Yeah, we had almost all the Led Zeppelin records, and
damn,
I remember, putting on Led Zeppelin when I was like 14 or 15, smoking a bunch of weed.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, that was the way you listened to Led Zeppelin back in the day. That's wild that it was on vinyl too, man. And I love that you and your brother were able to like almost grow up together with music and kind of share those experiences.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my brother was, one of the driving forces in me wanting to learn the guitar. He's fucking awesome at the guitar for one. And
so he was playing before you.
He picked it up right away. So like I was saying earlier, our cousin Adam came out.
That's right.
Like right after he graduated high school, and he was like kind of like just coming to visit, wanted to see what ASU was like. Maybe he wanted to go to ASU or something.
Totally.
And we were just hanging out by the pool out on my back porch, and I remember he brought his guitar, and me and my older brother were just like, damn, dude, let me play that.
Yeah.
Let me try that. You want to teach me some stuff? And,
yeah.
He taught us like a few chords, the G, C, D chord. You know how it starts.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. And he taught us some stuff and said, oh, well, these songs all use those chords. So here's like 3 or 4 songs for you to practice. Go listen to them. They use those 3 chords. And he gave us a little sheet of paper with some songs on them to learn.
Wow.
And that was like what really got us started. And then they all went out because my brother was like really interested in it, and I was too, but like it was mostly him where they went and they rallied up like $20, $30, $40 from like a few different family members that were all there visiting, and then they went to a pawn shop and bought my brother his first guitar.
Wow.
And yeah, it was only like $150. It was a little brown Hohner acoustic guitar. I think it's actually the one I'm playing in my music video on Let Your Mind Be Free.
Oh, that was your first one? Was that
my
your
first
solo?
First solo song,
song?
Let Your Mind Be Free. I recorded that during COVID, and it didn't come out until 2023.
Wow, dang.
Yeah.
So you sat on that for a minute.
I sat on that for a while.
So that's cool that you were able to utilize his first guitar in that video, because you cemented that in like history forever. That's like when you watch that video, be like, oh shoot, that's the guitar. Both of you guys.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So in those early days, do you remember being like, oh man, like, can I play that, bro? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah. So was it a shared guitar, or was he pretty much like, yo, bro, like this is mine, get your own?
Well, we kind of shared it for the first like while, and then it was like one of those things where it's like, get your own, motherfucker.
Totally.
Yeah.
I could see that. That's exactly. I was like, there's conflict just waiting to happen right there.
Yeah. It was like by the 6th grade, I had my own guitar, and it was one of those like cheap, like like Esteban guitar sets. You remember Esteban, the old like Spanish guitar player, does like the old school. Like,
so it was like a nylon situation, or?
No, it was actually a steel string one that I
nice.
bought.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I remember I got like the video for it and everything, the Esteban guitar kit, and it was only like $100 or something. Yeah. It was a cheap guitar.
Yeah, but hey, man, it worked. It worked.
It was a piece of shit.
You were like, bro, can I still play yours?
Yeah. And, I didn't realize how much of a piece of shit it was until I went and I started sitting down at like, Musicians Discount and Guitar Center and sitting down and being like, dude, these guitars are wicked.
Yeah, they feel different.
Yeah, they feel it. They feel great.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Hey, Martians, real quick. I appreciate you taking the time to listen or watch wherever you are in the world. Over the last few months, the Martian family has grown so much. I could not be more thankful for all of my guests and every single one of you who continue to tune in every single week. Subscribers, ratings, likes, and comments all help us grow here on Mars. And it would mean the world. If you haven't already, please go to onmarspod.com/subscribe to subscribe on YouTube. Like and leave a comment, rate us on Spotify. All this good stuff helps keep the engine running to inspire Martians all over the world. P.S. Follow us on Instagram at OnMarsPod. Okay, let's get back to it. You mentioned Joey Gutos in high school, but I want to talk about the beginning days of trying to start a band. You know what I'm saying?
That was with Joey.
Exactly. And I want to talk about that because it was you and Joey that really started Sunset Voodoo, and then your brother came in later. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was me and Joey. And it initially started off with our buddy Ben Sandoval.
Shout out Ben,
playing violin. He would literally play. He literally play like fiddle. But like he would just play some like cool chill stuff and like, he's good
and it worked well.
And he's really good.
Hell yeah! I mean that's why he was in the band.
Yeah, he was very talented, and we would just jam out with him. And obviously, it was something that he decided, later didn't really seem like it was something he wanted to do.
I mean, that makes sense.
So Ben didn't stick around. That was just like the very first, like, initial phase. There wasn't even a percussion player.
Right.
It was just me and Joey on acoustic guitars.
Right.
And we would
like
switch
Simon
off.
And Garfunkel.
We would switch off on the bass.
Oh.
Yeah, and he would play the bass and I'd play the guitar sometimes. And then eventually I hit up my buddy Rocky. I went to school with Rocky, the drummer.
Okay.
In middle school. And I met him in 6th grade. And I actually, while I was taking guitar lessons, I taught a bunch of my friends how to play the guitar while I was going to Fees Middle School right down the street here.
From what you were learning from your teacher.
Yeah. I was teaching all my friends who were in like guitar class and stuff, and they're learning like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, it's like, no.
Ode to Joy.
Check this out.
And I'm just like, you want to learn Purple Haze?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, teach me your ways.
Yeah. You want to learn Purple Haze?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, sure, dude.
Fucking
yeah.
Yo, that's so funny.
And I remember being in the 7th grade and 6th and 7th grade, and I would ride the bus home to Rocky's house, and I would give him guitar lessons, or he would come to my house and I'd give him guitar lessons. And what me and Rocky did is we would just sit and we would jam.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the best way for you to get practice and get good at
sure,
guitar.
Man. That's how you
So
build
I told
chops.
him, I was like, I'm going to teach you how to play the basic pentatonic scale.
Nice.
So you can just like solo and have fun and do something fun, cool. And I'm going to play in this key and you're going to play right here. And we would just jam out and I'd be like, all right, now you take the chords. And then I'd do a solo. And that's how me and Rocky started getting good at playing the guitar together. Well, when we were in like 6th and 7th grade, 8th grade, I actually knew how to play Little Wing.
Oh, by Jimi Hendrix.
By the time I was like 13 years old, I was in like 7th grade. I could already play like Little Wing by Hendrix and
that's
like
a
Purple
classic.
Haze.
Yeah, I mean those are classics records.
Play like Pride and Joy by like Stevie Ray Vaughan and like some old like blues songs, and we would just jam out and just solo together. And then my older brother, after he graduated high school, we went to Marcos at the same time. I was a freshman, he was a senior.
Okay.
And then sophomore year, he graduated, and when he was going to MCC and taking like performance guitar classes and stuff
Beautiful.
like that. He was jazz performance major.
Amazing.
And I learned a lot more in high school from him that I didn't really know before, obviously, but I had like basic knowledge. And then I was more like, halfway through high school and I started learning more like theory and stuff like that.
For sure.
Musical modes
of course.
Stuff like
that's inside baseball for like people that don't understand music, but like that's how you get really good at guitar, understanding it inside and out, on top of playing all the time, jamming, building your chops.
Yeah, you're just in like a different position on the neck, playing the same, you're playing the same scale, but in a different position on the neck, starting from a different note.
Right.
And then maybe, you're gonna flat the, this note, or you're gonna sharp this note.
Yeah.
And
for sure, man.
That was how it worked.
So then you mentioned Rocky, but then you say he played guitar with you, but then he was the drummer.
Yeah.
So was he at your high school in Marcos as well?
No, he went to Mountain Point.
Okay, nice. So you still were like kept in contact with him. That's how you were able to kind of recruit him to like the early Sunset Voodoo days.
Yeah. So I hit him up when me and Joey were just like, dude, let's get a drummer.
Yeah.
And I hit up Rocky.
And I know a guy.
Yeah. I was like, I know someone. He's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So then
we used to rock out. Like he always played the drums.
Okay.
He
cool.
always played the drums.
Nice.
And that's why I would go over to his house
because he had the set.
He had the set.
Yeah.
But I was teaching him how to play the guitar
for sure.
But we would go and we'd jam out and we'd play like. I remember even like going over there and playing like AC/DC Back in Black, and he'd just like start rocking the exactly. Yeah, I would just come over there. I'd plug in my guitar, and we would rock the fuck out, dude.
Yeah. So with Joey too, then is that kind of how it happened?
And then after high school, and when me and Joey were jamming, I was like, I ran into Rocky graduation senior year, even though we went to different schools. We all met up, and we went to the Denny's with his family and like some other homies.
Rocky's family.
Yeah, and we went and we sat down and like, kind of had like we graduated high school, you know what I mean? And kind of like the celebration breakfast, brunch.
Grand Slam, baby.
Yeah, and we all kind of just like sat down, ate together, and we didn't talk again for like a few months, and then me and Joey were doing our thing. And I was like, oh, dude, like 2012, like January came around or something like that. And I was like, yo, Rocky, let's jam. I got my buddy Joey that I graduated with. We're trying to start a band, and let's all just hang out and jam and see what happens. Yeah. And I started building from there.
Damn,
and
dude.
Jared didn't join the band until like 2015 or 2016.
So I mean,
that's my brother. Yeah,
Jared. Of course. So in the interim, from like that 2012 to 2015, before Jared got there, what was the progressions like? Were you guys like doing gigs, playing covers, and like what were you guys what was that starting days?
So that was before the days where I felt like, I mean, when you're younger, those kinds of things don't really like come to you as naturally, like right out of high school and stuff. I feel like people didn't start playing those gigs until we got older.
For sure, yeah.
Like
so you weren't really like making any like money off of it. You were just jamming.
It was like the jamming. You go and you play like an 45-minute all original set at the spot down the street. Before we even turned 21, we were playing at the Long Wongs on Apache and McClintock.
Just you, Joey, and Rocky.
And then we would go in there and we would talk to them, and we'd be like, we're not 21, but we want to play at your open mic. We'll stay outside.
Come in for our set and dip.
Put a wristband on us. We won't drink. We're not gonna, we're not gonna get you in trouble. We just want to play music. And we were playing at open mics before we even turned 21.
Damn. So you guys had the drive to do that shit early on, even though it wasn't like consistent gigs. So you guys were out there trying to market yourself in a sense, putting your name in the streets,
trying to write music and stuff. There was a little bit of a stagnant period in the beginning, and then
still before Jared.
Yeah. Well, no, Joey was there.
No, Jared.
Oh yeah,
before Jared.
And then a little bit of a stagnant period in the beginning, and we were like, oh, let's let's take it up a notch. We tried to bring a new guitar player in, a buddy, CJ. Feel like styles didn't really mesh, and we weren't really like making any progress, and then we didn't really like continue on with him. Super cool dude.
Yeah.
Fucking shreds.
Hell
like,
yeah.
He's really good at the guitar.
It just didn't match your style. Yeah.
Rocky and him were like
Tight.
They were tight because they're big metalheads. I'm not as much into like the heavy stuff,
right?
But they loved it.
Nice.
And
so
that was their thing. So they really get along, and they still kind of jam and hang out to this day. I haven't really seen and hung out with CJ a whole lot since. I've maybe seen him like twice since then, but cool dude.
Yeah.
Respect him a lot. But we didn't end up continuing on with him. And then shortly after that, we started bringing Jared in. So our first EP is just the three of us.
Right.
The Sunset Voodoo EP was 2014. We released it in May, and we played at the Sail Inn before it closed over on like it's like right there on Farmer by the culinary dropout, the Yard.
Okay.
It's that place right across the street that's kind of like shut down still. It doesn't really have anything going on over there.
But that was a venue.
That used to be like a pretty popular venue.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like transplanted from there when that shut down over to Cactus Jack's. You know where Cactus Jack's is in like Ahwatukee?
Is that
It's like 48th.
Car place? Or?
No.
Different. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a car place somewhere in like Scottsdale.
I've seen Cactus Jack's. Yeah,
or like Mesa or like Scottsdale.
Yeah, something like. I think it's Mesa. Yeah.
I've seen it.
But
and no, but Cactus Jack's, like tavern grill or something like that. Little bar and grill, and that's over on like Elliott and 48th Street. But that's what it turned into later. They moved there. But like some of our earliest shows were at Sail Inn too. One of our first open mics we played when we were like 19 or 20. I remember playing Amber by 311.
Love it. That's classic, dude. I love that song.
We played that song and we butchered it.
Damn.
It was awful.
Oh, damn.
Awful. And we played a couple of other songs that we nailed and they sounded good. But I remember playing Amber and I was just like, and like getting off the stage and being like, you guys, we butchered that shit. It sounded terrible. It's like, shut up, man. Like,
it's like
have a good time and get the fuck out.
Yeah. Damn. Dude, I want to talk about the Sunset EP, the Sunset Voodoo EP real quick because of the fact that you guys talk about it being just you three, but were you recording it yourself or did you guys find a studio early on or kind of what was that process like?
My buddy, Rocky, his friend, Alex Rincon, he was a good skating friend where they'd always go like skating together.
Skateboarding?
Yeah, him and Rocky skated all the time, I think, back in like high school, and they were good friends. And he actually recorded that EP. And he was going to MCC and like Crass and I think stuff like right
Conservatory Recording Arts and Sciences.
Yeah, he was doing that whole scene. Like right out of high school, and we started recording with him. So that first EP was recorded with Alex, and it was just me, Joey, and Rocky.
Damn, dude. So then I want to kind of transition to when Jared came on board because that was probably something because at that point, you and Jared had been playing for a long, long time. So he was going
almost already. Yeah.
Exactly, which is awesome. I mean, to be still pretty young, but already have so many years in the game in a sense.
Yeah.
And he was actually going to school for guitar performancing and all that performance. And I feel like that's like kind of gave him a leg up too. So it's like he was ready to go.
Yeah. We're talking, Jared was rewriting chord melodies and stuff like that to like old jazz standards. I've heard him play Georgia on My Mind where he like plays the chords and he'll go in and he'll actually like do all the voice melody in the
while playing the chords.
Yeah, you seen where people do like the
the crazy thing.
Yeah, so he had like a melody built in with his chords and I'm just like teach me your ways, man. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, me and Jared, learned together, and he would teach me stuff, and we would just jam out.
Sick.
It was fun.
Dude, so then I'm sure that was an awesome experience being in a band with him, where then you guys really came together and started playing gigs as Sunset Voodoo for real, for real. Then it got kind of real.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I remember Jared was like, he was kind of like coming out of like a shitty job situation, like from like a dead end job he was working, you know, and he was like, man, sucks, you know. He was unemployed for like a month or two or something as he was like trying to find a new job. We're like, dude, come start jamming with us.
Yeah.
Let's start doing gigs.
For sure.
You know, let's start playing. And then he isn't on the song Strange Things on our Strange Things EP from 2015.
Right.
He isn't on that song, but he's on every other song on the EP.
Yeah.
So we released Strange Things as like a single before the EP actually came out.
Gotcha.
And then together, we all came together and we did the EP for the rest of the EP and then released it at the Casa Sunba Lounge. And we did like a, you know, where Casa is right there on like 5th Street and Mill. They used to have that lounge right over to the side that I think it's like a OG Tacos or something now, or it's probably something else.
Something else, yeah.
Been years.
It was a different Casa too, because Casa is very different now.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah,
terrible. I don't like it there. I've been vocal about it on a couple of occasions. I don't really like it at Casa.
It used to be so cool.
Yeah, I know,
it used
right?
To be so cool. I like it. And then same thing with Shady Park. You remember Shady Park?
Oh yeah, yeah. They closed that down because of a different reason, but yeah,
it's not shut down, but their venue is.
Yeah, the best part about it.
I actually, my California Love song that just came out in May.
Yeah.
I actually went to Shady Park and I talked to them and I asked them if they were willing to like if I paid to like have somebody come in and help out, you know, to be a part of it. I wanted to use their patio as like a spot for my music video.
Oh, were they cool with it?
They denied respectively. You know, respectably, they said we're going to pass on this. It's going to involve a lot. They were using it as like storage out back. You literally walked out there; it was all dirty. They'd have to spend hours cleaning
it off just to make it like usable.
It looked pretty rough.
Damn, that's tough.
It was one of those things where I was like, all right, you know, immediately I just shift. It's not like it really mattered. You know, I had plenty of other places I could go to. But then the end portion of my music video, it has me, Keenan, Nutter Tut. Nutter Tut.
Yep. He was on that song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me, Keenan, the model that I have in the music video, Yahira, and then one of her friends and some of my friends, we all met at the Cornish Pasty on Dobson and Guadalupe. Fire. That scene I originally planned out in my head to be
Shady Park.
At Shady Park.
Dang.
I originally planned that to be at Shady Park. And then I talked to the manager and he was like, it sounds like a really cool idea, man. I really support what you're doing. It's going to be a little bit too much work for us.
Totally. Hey,
totally.
All good.
Cool.
So
say no more.
Yeah, man. So those days when you're playing with Jared, how early on did things start really picking up? Because you guys, you guys ended up going on tours and playing a bunch of shows for a pretty long time.
2015.
Did it pick up pretty fast?
Picked up pretty quick.
Yeah.
2015, 2016, 2017. We were playing a lot of gigs. And 2018 was our last formal gig together.
Right.
Like as a full group. And then Joey and I continued playing as Sunset Voodoo and hired people, just like he was doing, where he just like hired people for like the solo gigs and stuff.
Totally.
And we would hire like Johnny Groove, you know, to come play drums, or we'd hire guys to come play the guitar, because my older brother kind of dropped out of the band too when Rocky quit.
Got you.
Rocky decided to quit the band, focus more on his relationship with his wife now. They're married now. was kind of just like stepping back from the music scene and just said, maybe it's time for me to take a different direction in my life.
Yeah, no, that's a very self-aware.
At first it was one of those things where,
it's like, damn, bro, you're breaking up the band.
Yeah. Of course, everybody has those initial feelings, but
course.
As time went on, it's just like we all matured, we all had our own things going on, and
it made sense at the time.
As of yesterday, Sunset Voodoo we just uploaded 7 songs that are coming out at the end of this month.
With Joey?
Yeah, it's Joey, Jared, Rocky, and I. We have 7 songs coming out at the end of this month. On August 29th.
I feel like you just kind of just dropped a lot of that's crazy.
And they're really good.
Dude,
and we recorded them.
Hold on. Rewind. Hold on. When did you guys record this?
2018, as we were ending, our last little stint, we recorded all this music. And
was this with Curtis Douglas?
Yes. This is with Douglas at the Red Mountain Studios.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
these are unreleased records.
We have 8 songs unreleased. We have 7 that are coming out in August, and we got a bonus track in the back of our pocket,
What?
Yeah, we have a reprise.
Dude,
we have a reprise of one of our old songs that we redid, and we had Danny Torgerson come in and play horns. You know who Danny Torgerson is?
I don't, but he's a legendary horn player or something? Or?
He's the trumpet player that goes out and plays with like Fayuca. Do you know who... he's in that Bad Fish Sublime tribute band that travels all over the place.
Yeah.
He plays in that band with Beans, the bass player. You know who that guy is?
No, I don't, man. Sorry, I don't know all these people references.
Mario Sepulveda.
Don't know him.
No, he plays the bass.
Nice.
He's a cool guy.
Hell yeah, Beans is a cool name.
Yeah,
but
that's just kind of like a nickname.
Yeah, of course,
on like the internet. So I was like, maybe.
It's a stage name, as they say.
Yeah,
but damn, okay, so you recorded this back in 2018, that around the time when you guys kind of were breaking up,
and then it was unfinished when Rocky quit the band, and that was another reason why there was some oh, you kidding me, dog?
Yeah, it's like we were in the middle of recording this album, bro.
We have our best album yet about to come out, and you're quitting. All right, okay.
Damn.
All right.
It's like you gotta respect it, but it's just
and at first we were like, fuck
yeah.
and then a couple months later, obviously we hit him up, and we're just like, it's all good.
Yeah.
Things just kind of naturally we started trying to jam together, just have fun and meet up together again, over the years,
just to keep the relationship cool. So then, and
Joey and I didn't finish this album until 2020.
Okay, that's what I was going to say, because they sat dormant and you guys still had the files.
Yep.
So then did you go back with Curtis to finish them up in 2020?
I personally, I don't want to brag, but
you're like, I need these records to come out.
No.
Okay.
I don't need to brag, but I personally was done with all of my parts on the album within the first 2 days of recording.
Easy.
All my bass parts. It was me and Rocky. What me and Rocky did, because we've been playing together so long. Got that kick and bass,
For sure. The rhythm section.
We had the rhythm section down, man.
Yeah,
we were just ready to go, all the time. Me and Rocky were the
So
homies.
he had his parts almost done too.
All his parts were already recorded and done.
Fucking
and that was the reason why I felt like he also maybe
felt like it was his time.
I already got all my stuff laid down. You guys do what you want with the album. I'm gonna go take my route.
That's so respectable. I'm glad that he did that rather than being halfway through recording and then not even finishing his part.
He was done.
That's sick.
He was done.
For sure. But that was a gentleman's way to go out. You know what I'm saying?
And where a lot of the stressors came, and Curtis Douglas is a very good, producer, an engineer. A lot of the stress came though from that producing edge, where he felt like maybe the part needed to be changed a little bit or something, and it wasn't up to his standard. And all my brother's guitar parts changed.
Really?
Jared's guitar parts. They went and they rewrote like all of Jared's guitar parts.
Did they re-record them?
And we redid a lot of like Joey's vocals, a lot of those like last minute like touched up edges and stuff.
This was in 2020.
2018.
Okay, when you were doing these? Okay.
Yeah, and he kind of maybe a little bit stifled some of the creative energy by being a little bit too meticulous, critical.
Yeah.
But when all is said and done in the long run, he's good at what he does.
Absolutely.
And I'll just step back and say with respect, bravo.
Yeah, dude, that's super self-aware of you to be like, you're the professional. I'm gonna listen to what you say. If it doesn't work, then I'll be like, yo, what the fuck, dude?
No, but we got into some arguments. There was a couple, there was a couple times where it's like, dude, we're paying you to be in the studio, man. We're paying you to be here, and we just want to get the music done. Maybe we're being a little bit too picky. Let's chill out.
Yeah, for sure. But
you know, we said that to him a couple of times, but of course, obviously, by the end of the day, and at the end of it all, when all was said and done, we were like, all right, let's chill out. Let's get it all done. Let's get it done, and we did.
That's what's up, dude. Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to find that like middle ground in a sense where it was like the record got done. And how many tracks?
There's 8 total, but one of them is a reprise of an old tune.
Right. So one of the 8 is a reprise?
Yes.
Okay. So
and then that one we're saving as kind of a bonus track.
Dope.
And this is all brand new news as of yesterday.
Yeah, this is breaking news, guys.
Breaking news.
Everybody that
as of yesterday, I literally posted it on my Instagram story. Got 7 songs on the way. Posted it yesterday, and
that's huge, man.
Sunset Voodoo.
So this is like, is this something that like Joey is like trying to get together and do shows with this new music with you?
No.
Or just releasing it just to release it?
We're releasing it just to release it.
Okay.
We all kind of do our own thing. Rocky is in a band called Las Calacas now.
Oh, he got back into playing?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
shit.
Have you heard of Las Calacas?
No, I have not.
They're kind of like it's like a heavier edge, like punk cumbia band, and they have like a rapper lead guy.
That is a lot of fusion going on.
Oh
there.
yeah, they're sick.
I mean,
they're sick. They're really sick.
I can imagine punk, cumbia, and a rapper.
Yeah, it's sick.
That's pretty sick.
I dig it.
I'll
I've gone and seen them at the Crescent Ballroom before. And
they play Crescent. Okay, so they're in the circuit.
Yeah, they're in the circuit for sure, and they travel around. I see them doing their thing on their grind.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad that Rocky got back into it and felt like he was able to do it. Shit. I hate to see talented people quit altogether. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he just needed to step away from the scene for a while, focus on some stuff. He got married. He has a daughter now.
Yeah, beautiful. But now he feels like
now he's
back.
Yeah, now he's back in the scene playing. He's like extra percussion and rhythms and stuff like that for a cumbia band.
I love it.
He's like the guy that does the little like
I don't know what it's called. Yeah, for sure.
What is it?
That's a Puerto Rican instrument.
It's not a glockenspiel.
No, the glockenspiel is the xylophone. It's like I know what you're talking about, where it has the little comb. It has the comb.
Yeah, what the fuck is it? It's gonna kill me what the hell that thing's called, but he rocks that thing all the time.
Hell yeah, dude.
He does like extra percussion, like kind of like shaker type of stuff. And
so hang on. So if this record comes out and it does well, you gotta play shows, dude.
That's what we're kind of sitting back on. We're sitting back on the idea that
you got to do it, dude. Do like a fucking what do they call that? A reunion show.
Yeah, that was what we originally wanted to do for the longest time, and we were talking about how we wanted to do a reunion show. But think about it like this, man. I put all that money and effort into a song, like California Love, and you put all your time, money, and effort. We haven't done anything with Sunset Voodoo in how many years for us to just resurface. It's going to take a lot of energy and effort to blossom into something bigger. And I did California Love and probably spent like $2,500 on that song
with the music video and recording and all that stuff.
$2,500, almost $3,000 on that song to get like all of it to sound like really good. And brought in, I hired the homies to play on the song. I wrote the whole thing.
Yeah,
that piano line on there, I actually wrote that on the guitar in like 2020. I wrote that song, and
Right.
and I'd just been fucking around with it for years ever since. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the song to like a cool producer, and I was
Yeah.
like, it'd be perfect to do it with Stravs.
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
like, and me and him always got along because he's a big Chili Peppers fan too.
Oh, yeah.
Catastro has that like, you know, that Chili Peppers atmosphere, like,
Yeah, I mean,
like
yeah.
a little bit of rapper, a little bit of like funk rock kind of like,
Very much so.
yeah. And they're in that realm. And, me and Catastro always kind of got along back in the day when we played together, and we
Yeah.
would talk about that.
Cool guys.
Obviously, we stopped playing together, and stopped.
But you kept
doing
the
whole-
relationship open, so you're able to work with
Yeah,
them
and then
and
I hit him up years later. I was like, dude, you're doing your thing, man. And I remember Andy passed away. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace,
Yeah.
Andy J.
And I seen Stravs was still doing his thing and recording, and I was like, man, I'd love to come do a song with you.
Yeah, for sure, dude. No, I love that. But I do want to talk about like those days though, when like the Sunset Voodoo, like the ability to come back. I mean, real quick, because I do want to keep touching on this, because this is something that you could really like make a thing here, because you guys had traction when you were in your heyday. So
We had
I
quite
do
a bit of
feel like
traction.
if you guys came back with all of your efforts aligned, you wouldn't have to put as much effort in as you are doing it solo. And this would only help your solo stuff too.
Also,
You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like if they're
we've
down,
discussed all this.
if they're down, I think you should be like, fuck yeah. Like, I mean,
yeah, we
really,
tried to coordinate it for a long time, and then yesterday we got on a FaceTime call at about noon, and we were like, yo, dudes, it's time.
Let's go.
Like, why are we waiting anymore? Let's stop postponing this. Let's just set a release date,
and drop it.
put some album artwork together,
Boom.
and just upload it, and then just start promoting it, and then see where the traction takes us, and see if it builds up enough of a
Yeah.
of a boost.
Dude,
And
I mean, you guys got to
as soon
do
as that comes out and we have a little bit of a boost, maybe it would be appropriate to do
a
so.
show. I agree. And I think that's a great way to approach it, where it's just like, hey, if this takes off, let's give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
taking that initiative though to like make content for it and try to actually push it like for real, I think would be really important for you guys, especially if you do that shit where you get together and you'd be like, you might have known us as da 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 da, but now here we are again.
We just talked about that yesterday, and we talked about how it's like, all right, within the next week we need to get together and we need to plan out some video content and visual
Do a
content.
skit. Do some skits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. That's
Yes.
where it's at.
Do skits.
Honestly, and it's all about being funny and
Yes.
incorporating your music into it somehow.
Yes.
People seeing you as like an average, funny person.
Show your
Nobody
personality, yeah.
cares about you like being like Mr. fucking like ego musician. Like,
Definitely
some
not.
people like put it in the back of their heads like, I have to be like this
No.
or I have to be like that. No,
You don't.
really you don't,
Just gotta
because
be
really,
yourself.
yeah, mostly people just want to see you be yourself because
right.
they can sense you being fake.
Exactly, dude.
They can sense it.
Exactly.
They can
bro.
sense you being fake.
Dude, I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something where you guys, with the skits, you can like infuse your personalities
Yeah.
into like your characters on screen,
Yeah.
And I think that shit would be hilarious and also funny or like fun to do. You know what I'm saying?
We
Like,
used to do that with our videos performing back in the day when we used to play at like Shady Park. We'd go and we'd make like video content. Me and Rocky actually did this funny thing with Joey and Jared where we for one of our big shows that we were playing, we told everybody, we're like, all right, let's all get together and have a few beers, and we're gonna make it look like a little like like party kind of thing, but at the same time we had Rocky dress up as like he was a boxer or something.
Yeah.
I was his coach. I was like, all right, kid, yeah, you're gonna do great. You now get in there, kid. Go on. Like come on.
Yeah.
Like, and then Joey was like the promoter. He's like, all right, kid, get in there.
Yeah,
You're gonna make me a lot of money, you know.
Dude, shit like that, man. I'm telling you, that's like a lane, and this is how you guys can really make something out of something that's so old. Like, dude, that's exciting, bro. Because when I was talking with Joey about it, it was one of those things too. Like, I remember after the episode, he was on the fence because I put in the title of his episode, because we talked about Sunset Voodoo a lot in Joey's episode.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. Joey is such a good dude and very talented musician. We've talked about him a lot because he's a big part of your story. But after the episode release, he wasn't sure if it would be appropriate to put Sunset Voodoo in the title of the episode. But I was like, dude, I think we should, because it's such a big part of your story. And he's like, you know what? You're right. Like, it is. So I think like the importance that Sunset Voodoo is in both of your guys' life, and I'm sure Rocky, I'm sure that there's like a special place for that in your hearts and a lot of people who are fans of Sunset Voodoo.
Dude, we spent the better half of our early adulthood jamming, playing music together.
Yeah, so. Dude, come on. This is gonna be beautiful. Like this music coming out, dude.
I'm really excited.
That's so exciting.
I got some stuff. I'll show it to you here in a bit.
I'd love to hear it.
I got some music and
some bounces.
We had a music video that we're probably trashing, you know, for questionable reasons. But I'll explain it to you later. I don't want to. It's one of those
off
things.
Cam. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, yeah, that's not going to look good.
Yeah, dude.
It's like at the time it didn't really like occur to us, but then later we're like,
reflections. Yeah.
Like that looks bad.
Yeah.
That looks pretty bad.
So then your final show with Sunset Voodoo back in those days, was it in 2020? Did you guys do a show in 2020?
Final show with Rocky was 2018 at the Last Exit with Something Like Seduction.
Okay.
We played
so that
in
was
August.
in 2018.
It was like August 8th, 2018 was our last show.
Okay. And then you didn't come back with Sunset Voodoo, or did you come? Because I think I saw you guys played a show in 2020.
We hired Jeremy, and then we hired other drummers like Johnny Groove, and we hired another guy a couple of times, Jorge Gutierrez, and
a lot of name drops on this episode.
Yeah, and then we got my buddy Phil Kaiser used to play guitar in. You remember the Black Bottom Lighters?
No.
Damn,
bro, I'm so bad.
They're an old reggae band, and they were grooving for a long time back in the day.
Yeah,
like a reggae band, you know, and he was an amazing guitar player. So we had him fill in for Jared sometimes too.
Amazing.
Like,
so before that last show,
we would have to teach everybody all of the drum parts and guitar parts for like 2 years. Eventually, you know, me and Joey got a little bit like, fuck. We gotta hire people to like learn all of our songs,
and then we gotta teach them. Fuck.
And then we gotta bring them in. We gotta rehearse with them,
and we have to pay them.
And then we got to go play this show for 3 hours with a bunch of covers and all of our original music.
Yeah.
And then, like, eventually it just became one of those things where
it's more work than it's worth.
It's more work than it was worth. And me and Joey kind of like stepped back. He started doing his own thing. And
totally.
I was like, we can still keep playing together. And he was kind of opposed and wanted to do his own thing for a while. I was like, all right,
you just wanted to cut the ties for a second, and just see
for
what
a
else
while,
was,
what else was out there for us. And I started doing my own solo thing too.
In 2020.
2021, I started playing out.
Okay, so
time.
I want to talk about
2020 and 2021 was when I started like trying to push to do, because it was like right after we stopped playing together.
Exactly. So this was like COVID days too.
Yeah, and then COVID happened.
Right. Because that was March of 2020.
I remember having a conversation with Joey, and you know how all that was at the time, where everybody's uncertain.
Live music was done.
And like shit, we all gonna have to get the vaccine? Are we getting vaxxed? You know, some people are opposed to getting vaxxed. I got vaxxed. I wanted to go see my grandma living.
Yeah.
You know, she was, 80 years old, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna fly out to North Carolina to go see my grandma and give her COVID or some shit.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
And okay, and everybody was like requiring like the vax cards to go
for
out.
sure.
I'm like, I'm young. I believe in vaccinations, and I believe in, kind of like that whole side of things, and that's a whole political thing that some people get into, and they get, a
Right.
little tense. But
Yeah. But anyway,
me, I'm like, do whatever you want, but
Right,
like,
right.
as a younger dude, I might not have needed it, but
yeah. So then in those COVID days, I want to talk about like the creativity though that was happening, because you were done with the band and you were in like kind of like a limbo place. So you were probably taking just odd jobs just to keep the lights on. I mean, you're still young at this point.
I
Like,
was working at UPS. I worked in the mornings at 2 or 3 a.m. I'd go in and I'd unload trucks for them all morning. And then I'd go out and I'd deliver flowers for 1-800-Flowers from about
That's so fucking
1 or
random.
2 p.m. I'd go and I'd pick up a route of like, 20 or 30 orders of flowers. And I'd go and I'd drive as far as Cave Creek, as far as Queen Creek. I'd go real far north and south and down to like Santan Valley, out into like Gold Canyon, way like east, like Mesa on your way to like Globe and New Mexico and stuff.
mm,
And I used to deliver flowers for them,
that's crazy.
and I would still play gigs at night.
By yourself.
And sometimes I would pick up shifts as a waiter at like there was Denny's and IHOP I worked for as well.
So you were
I was working
grinding.
like 3 or 4 jobs during the like in the middle of COVID and post-COVID days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, before COVID, I got out of the waiter game. I was like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore.
So you were waiting tables the whole time while you were Sunset Voodooing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was Sunset Voodooing.
Yes.
I like that. It's got a whole verb.
Exactly.
Voodooing. We were voodooing.
Voodooing in the
Voodooing.
sunset.
We were voodooing in the sunset.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there we were, voodooing in the sunset.
That's
Dude,
actually
that's skit. Write that down.
So there we were, voodooing in the sunset.
In the sunset. It was the night of March 3rd,
Nah.
2020.
Yeah.
COVID had just come out.
Yeah,
All right. No,
yeah.
so in those days you were grinding and you were still playing music as a solo artist? So
that
you were like
didn't come until later.
but like in COVID days, like when you were working all those jobs, you said you were playing gigs at night.
Well, that was after gigs started coming back and before
Right.
they
that's
left.
okay.
So
yeah,
they
'cause
hadn't left yet.
They totally
In 2020, they hadn't left yet.
until March.
Yeah, it was like we were scheduled to play at the Ostrich Festival of 2020, and then
What
and
month
then-
was that?
I think it was supposed to be in like March, April, or May.
Okay,
like right before,
it's like at the very start,
right before it like started.
Fuck.
And then we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
And that was like the icing on the cake where like I felt like COVID really separated Sunset Voodoo.
Yeah. Well,
I think it was like the biggest
that
thing.
makes sense.
Me and
That
Joey
totally
were
makes
still
sense.
doing our thing, and we were still trying to jam together. And though he was starting more on his solo career,
right.
it was like, that was like kind of like the icing on the cake where it's like, yeah, dude, we really just need to like focus on our own personal lives
Shit.
right now.
Yeah.
And, the world is a crazy place, and, we'll recoup eventually. And here
For
we are.
sure, man.
Here we are 5 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There's a lot of missing
Yeah,
steps
a
there,
lot, yeah,
Lucas.
there was some missing
No,
steps,
but no, I want to talk about, because in those days, those COVID days, that's when you started like kind of forming the solo artist Lucas Roth. Because I mean, if people don't know, he does have 2 songs out right now. And if you guys want to go stream that, give him some love. Yeah.
Let Your Mind Be Free. I got a music video out for that. I went and I recorded that with Barry Cohen on the video, and the dude broke his back like literally like right after we got done making the
How did
music
he break
video.
his back?
He's like a custom home designer, and I think he fell off of a ladder.
Oh
dude.
shit!
I think he fell off a ladder, and he didn't
that's
like
life-changing
it wasn't
injury.
like sever broken,
Right,
but I think
right.
like
enough
he,
to have like
enough-
surgery and shit.
yeah, and he was out for 6 months.
Oh,
And like he told me, he's like, I'm really sorry, Lucas, but I got to focus on my own, thing and
Health.
my family and my
Yeah.
health right now.
Fucking A.
We were supposed to meet up together like that week and do the edit for that music video and put it all together. And then it just like kind of like fell off. And I was like, dude, Barry, like, when are we going to finish this up, man?
That's
we literally recorded all of the footage.
Fuck.
And then eventually he just gave me the hard drive with all of it on there.
You cut it up yourself?
And then I took it to Gavin Donnelly with
Okay.
Soundphoria. He does some other work with some other people, really good artist, videographer. And he's the one that edited it for me.
Nice.
And he put it all together. Thank you, Gavin. It looks great. So I got that one out, self-produced that song, and recorded that one at Highland Recording Studios.
So was that in 2021 then?
2020. I recorded it in 2021. It was like officially finished on the music video.
Okay. And then it didn't drop until 23.
And then I didn't drop it until 2023 just because of the back breaking thing.
Of course. Delays, yeah.
And then delays and stuff like that. And just some of my own personal stuff and, just like, failed relationships.
Yeah. Just life getting in the way.
Life getting in the way and
sure.
just being like, okay. I was actually even like engaged for a little while in 2021 and then split up and moved back in with my mom. And, after COVID, her and my brother weren't really working, lost their jobs at the time. And I had UPS, 1-800-Flowers, and then I was still playing
serving
gigs.
And
I was still so I was working 3-4 jobs.
Yeah.
And helping pay the bills and stuff. And it was one of my stronger moments in my life where I'm a little bit more proud of. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Where I felt a little bit more resilient,
Totally.
And I've had my moments, where I've been on the lower end of the totem pole too. You know, we've all been there, especially as musicians, man.
For sure.
It's a tough game.
Absolutely. It's like the most inconsistent thing ever, too. The starving artist is a real thing sometimes and can put you in some pretty crazy places. But those days, like when you're first starting as a solo artist, this is a new kind of venture in a sense because of the fact that you've always been the bassist. So you've always been a like supporting character in a sense, where it's like now having to be the guy, the lead on the thing. Did you feel like the confidence immediately to like jump into that, or was it something that you felt like you had to do?
I had to build that. For several other reasons. I don't really. I mean, I guess this is a more sensitive subject for me, but I don't mind bringing it up. But when I was 15. I had Ramsay Hunt syndrome, which is where you get the chickenpox virus in your ear, shut down this side of my face. So I had Bell's palsy on this side of my face at 15. I never made a 100% recovery.
Damn.
Sometimes when I'm talking or like I'll get tired, it's like you can see it and it almost looks like, like one side of he's got a lazy eye. It's not really like a lazy eye. It's just like kind of like this eye doesn't like the the eyelid is a little bit subdued.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know about that type of stuff, and I felt like a lot of awareness was shed when same thing happened to Justin Bieber. He had to shut down his whole world tour a couple years ago because he had Bell's palsy from Ramsay Hunt syndrome.
Wow.
He got the same thing. He recovered 100%. Good for him.
Yeah.
Some people don't recover 100% because it's nerves and it kills your nerves.
Damn.
So the nerves and muscles and stuff in the side of my face just aren't 100%.
Damn, dude.
And I always had a little bit of a like I was embarrassed or like I felt like I couldn't be like the limelight of something because like people were gonna notice some shit like that, and I felt like I was weird or something. I don't know.
Right. But it's part of your
you had to gain your confidence.
For
When you have those little things that you're not confident about yourself and you're like, I have to overcome this.
Especially as a kid. I mean, at 15, you're still a kid.
Yeah, I didn't get to have a regular high school experience, like a lot of kids had, like right after freshman year, boom, that happened. And I didn't get to be the confident, high school kid that I wanted to be. I didn't get to go out and, uh, bag all the pretty girls that all the other kids did, and I'm like, oh, like, it didn't bother. It's not like that was what I was out to do, but like, I didn't get to be the confident dude that I saw a lot of my friends getting to be, as like a younger adult. And, that kind of came into play when I was starting to do my solo thing. I started realizing, all right, people like you. You got charisma, just talk, be yourself. People won't notice. And then when they do, fuck them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. So this was almost like, in a sense, doing the solo music was an exercise in enforcing that confidence in yourself and be like, I am the guy. I can be the guy. I've always been the guy.
Yeah.
And that's something that stems like from early age. Where it's like, I just always wanted to be the guy.
Yeah. And I was very unconfident in myself for many years, didn't have very many girlfriends. It was hard for me to like date and stuff like that. I didn't even start having like, like serious relationships until I was almost 30 years old, man.
Wow.
Because that affected me in that kind of way.
Yeah.
That I didn't know how to process until I became a more mature, fully frontal lobe developed, adult.
Yeah, for sure, man. So then this was a healing process of writing these songs and becoming an artist, really.
Yeah.
In your own right.
This was becoming Lucas Roth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That's beautiful.
That was, and I didn't get to do that until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And, I had some fuck ups along the way. And in the process, I was probably a big piece of shit, and I also had my very redeeming points where I was, felt like I was definitely resilient and on top of the world and I was doing good things. I even organized the 2011 10-year class reunion for Marcos Deniza. I was the guy who put it together at Kiwanis Park.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So that was 2021. We did that.
So you got to see a lot of your old friends and
and really I felt like that was also a little bit healing too for me to put that whole thing together because I felt like a little bit of an outcast in high school, even though I was popular and I feel like people knew me and I got to like go out to the parties and do things and I wasn't confident though.
Right.
So it didn't mean much.
Right.
I was like the shy kid, looking down at the floor. Oh shucks, gee willikers, pick up the fucking floor kind of kid sitting in the corner at the party.
Right.
I didn't have the confidence in myself that a lot of people did.
Damn, dude. I mean, I'm glad that you were able to like find the confidence in music because that was something that was always consistent with you. Is that was your love. When there wasn't girls, there was always music.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not all about relationships and girls and stuff like that, but it was one of those things where I didn't get to find that until I was much older and I didn't find the confidence in myself. I mean, first real, girlfriend, was my prom date, I was like 18 already, and I won't out her on the bad stuff bad stuff from that on camera.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Because she's a sweet girl, but it just didn't work out.
Right.
Had some some really messed up stuff that kind of set me aside for like years after that, and I didn't really even start dating until like late in my 20s, dude.
Right. But in that process of like becoming an artist, though, that's I want to talk about those days when you're releasing music as Lucas Roth.
Stuck to the bottom of the cup.
For sure. Yeah, I gotta get that. That happens too often. But I want to talk about those days, like in 2023, when you're starting to release music again, and it's probably a super like good feeling to be in that scene of like releasing again. You're like, oh my god, finally, after all this fucking time off, you know what I'm saying? That's like 5 years really after doing it with Sunset.
I released a song with Nutter Tut where I played the guitar on Different Than Last Year.
Okay.
So
put it's out his song.
And it's 2022 we put that out.
Okay. So this was before your first song?
Might have been 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2021. It was.
Damn. That's what's up.
We put out Different Than Last Year in 2021. because I remember it was right before I broke up with my ex-fiance. I remember vividly, that whole time and period of my life. Yeah. And that was it's a good time, That's when I started playing with Optimistical.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a branch between all that and me doing my solo stuff. I was starting to do my solo stuff, and out of Sunset Voodoo, I immediately started playing guitar with Optimistical, which is Keenan's old band that he was the
Gotcha.
lead of.
Gotcha.
And that was a lot of fun. And then we had a couple of other little gigs I would do with like some other people. His name's Latosky Adams. I played with him a few times, and he would, put together some gigs, and we got paid, we did some gigs, and I would play for some other people too. So there was some like, transitional period, like artists that I would play with, and then I was starting to play on my own at the same time.
Damn, dude. So that was like a way, when you were playing with Optimistical, it was kind of like a way to keep your chops up before you started doing your own thing for real. Yeah. It's like, because you never really stopped playing music the entire time. And that, stopped. I mean, that's someone who loves it for real, because like no matter what the fuck was going on, the world was shutting down. You're like, well, I still got to play music though. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
what makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes you happy, and that's what you use to pass the time and to focus your energy on. Like I said, when I first started playing the guitar, it's your outlet of expression, man.
Exactly.
You have something to fall back on, like you had a shitty day, come home, write a song about it, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somebody else is going to feel those same feelings that you once felt, or that inspired that
song,
that vibe.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. No, music is therapy. And I do feel like people that don't even make music, they sometimes use music to listen to it as therapy.
Exactly.
So it's like creating it, that's just like a whole nother level of like flow state and like creative expression. So I'm with you 100%. And I'm glad that you were able to have that as like a backbone of like your life pretty much.
Yeah.
And to this day, you know what I'm saying? And then now kind of like talk about the pressure kind of being a solo artist, because then you didn't release another song until 2025.
Yeah.
So
it was October 2023, I released my first debut song.
Right.
And then I didn't release California Love until May 2025.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like when you did that first song in 2023, it's like, okay, we're back. But then it's just like, it's like, oh, fuck, I still have to do so much like to upkeep this. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a lot.
I was working a really high stakes job. I was the
I
was the e-commerce supervisor for Fry's, where you're like the pickup supervisor. So it's like where people order online and they go and they pick it up in the parking lot.
Got you.
Such a booming business in this day and age, and they don't pay those guys enough money.
Yeah.
That is such a booming business, and some days are like super busy, some days are super slow. But I remember sometimes, man, I'd go in at 7 a.m. and I'd be there until 8 p.m. I'd work 13-hour days.
5 days a week?
Yeah. I'd work fucking 13-hour days, sometimes 5 days a week. I came to them, I said, what was the salary you had me put on it? And I'd be all like sarcastic about it. I'd be like, yeah, you want to do the math in your head? Tell me what you think I make an hour. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
I'm out of here. You know, mark me back down to an hourly management position, and we'll call it a day. I won't report you guys for what's clearly illegal right now.
Right. Yeah.
And they did,
because they weren't having to pay you overtime because you were on salary.
Yeah, I was working 65 hours a week, making 50 or 55K a year after bonus.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not enough
after
money.
Bonus.
And that's not enough money. Yeah. We're talking not. 55 or 60K after bonus.
Yeah,
this is after bonus.
But still, like you do
so
the math on that
I was
per
on
hour,
like a
that's
50
like...
or 55K a year salary. I can't remember what the number was. It was like 50 something.
I mean, but
and
even
then
if you're
they
working,
said, here's your incentive and bonus, and you can make up to this for the year.
And this is before taxes.
Yeah.
So
and then I got my paycheck once a month, bro, and I was working those hours, and I got 3 months in, and I was just like, really?
This is not worth it.
You get paid once a month when you're on salary with Fry's.
That's crazy.
Once a month they paid you. So I got paid the last day of the month. And you'd think, oh, $50K, you should be getting, a good,
4Gs?
$3,100.
Damn.
$3,100 once a month.
After taxes.
60 hours a week.
Fuck, dude.
And I got 3-4 months in, and I was like, I started questioning it. I had been doing it for a while, and by the time I got to month 7, 8, I was like into almost a year of doing the pickup thing. Come Christmas time 2023, right after I released Let Your Mind Be Free, I felt like it was eating up so much of my time to where I couldn't focus enough on the things that I really wanted to do. And I couldn't even push Let Your Mind Be Free the way that I wanted to.
Right.
And I was like, I need to take a step back. I wasn't making enough money. I was stressed out.
Right.
Just got out of a bad relationship, a different one.
Timing is terrible for everything.
Yeah, timing was just terrible. I was real depressed, and I was just like, well,
fuck, dude.
As the kids say these days, FML. Yeah. Fuck my life.
So then what did you end up going into? What happened after that? I mean, you're out of this relationship, you're leaving this job. You're still obviously making music, I'm sure, trying to use as an expression as much as you can. But did you get other odd jobs or from 2023 to 2025?
Odd jobs and stuff. Yeah, I would do other jobs where I just make money. Not necessarily all music either. But
right.
I did all sorts of little stuff.
Yeah, just trying to keep the lights on, but it wasn't anything that was super dedicated or anything like that. So it was just kind of in a limbo place.
Yeah,
and then getting into the point where you're writing California Love though, and kind of getting that to a point where you feel
I was playing it live all the time, and I would do my live version of it, and it was completely different vibe. And then I brought it to Stravs, and we not dumbed down, but we really we made it more subtle in the verses. It used to be a little bit more happy and upbeat during the verses, and now it starts off and it's kind of it's almost a little bit dark and soft, and then it kind of has that little bit rappy vibe in the beginning, and then it breaks into a little bit more happy, upbeat. So it had those different layers.
Yeah,
and I like that we did that with Stravs, but at the same time, I look back, and the only regret I have about that song is going a little bit too soft on the first verse. You want to hook people. You want to get them caught. You want to reel them in.
So when you say soft, do you mean performance soft or just lyrically, or what do you?
It was happier and it was more upbeat before, and it had a little bit of a little bit of a bumpy kick to it.
Performance,
and then we kind of churned it into a different vibe. I like it and I love it for what it is. But I do look back and wish that I wouldn't have let it go so soft in the beginning, because I feel that energy and that happiness that it had before is what it was missing to possibly hook people a little bit more.
So I can see what you're saying, but I also from Strav's point of view, and I think that was a very important thing.
Strategic.
Very strategic, but also in a sense fundamental in the sense of songwriting and arrangement because of dynamics. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to start soft and build into something, that's something that, I mean, I've been writing music for a very long time, so I can totally relate in a sense where it's you want people to hear the most important part of it, the vibe that you want to convey, but it's almost if you start with that, then what do you build to? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of it gets to that point, that energy that comes later on in the song probably comes in. But I feel if you were to start with that, then what would you build to? You know what I'm saying?
It still would have been a little bit different though.
Yeah.
We still had a building effort.
Yeah. So now at a point where you're you've released California Love. You did a music video with Yellow Box Films, Corey Davis,
Yeah.
which I will definitely be having Corey on the podcast soon. He's also one of those guests, a friend of the pod, but
dude,
gotta lock in with him for sure.
Corey's a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's been doing what he's doing for a long time. He actually did a music video for Sunset Voodoo too.
For sure, dude. He actually it's crazy, but like Small World, like he actually recorded music videos for my first band that I was in, Teammate Marcus, in like 2016 or 17. So this is like, we have ties back for a long time, like Corey and I, which is crazy. Just like, tight. But yeah, so that's wild.
He did Sweet Release, the music video for Sweet Release
for Sunset.
Yeah, that was 2016 or 17. We put that song out.
Yeah, so probably around the same times that we were working with him.
2016.
Yeah,
and we drove down to the old Casa Grande domes.
Okay,
you remember the domes?
I don't. No,
have you heard of that?
No, I've never heard of that.
So it's like an abandoned dome, like structure. And I think it was like some sort of like project, or like it was supposed to be like a big like computers thing or something. I'd have to look up all the details on it again, but they just abandoned it like halfway through. It was a terrible structure idea. The domes, how the hell were they gonna like structurally hold themselves together? They eventually started crumbling and falling apart like over the years, and
dangerous.
People just use them as kind of like a look at this, and people would go out there and kind of like film and do pics out there.
Yeah, totally. And that's where you filmed it.
It's like, yeah. So we went inside the domes.
Fire. That
same dome that we recorded that music video inside is now completely crumbled and fallen apart.
Wow.
Yeah. And at the time, we literally brought our guitars in there, and we were like jamming out and like screaming, yelling. Imagine that shit were to have fallen.
That was the first thought I had. It was like, that's dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
That's like fucking dangerous.
Now to this day, I look back and I'm just like, that's why all those people were crowding around the domes when we were out there. They were like, this shit's gonna fall on them.
Yeah.
And we want to be here to see it.
They're like,
we want to watch them die.
With their phones like this. Just recording the whole thing.
All right, here it comes. And
it's like, oh, I think I saw a move. Damn. Okay, so then
somebody yells a little too loud.
Hey! You heard the vibration of it. No, so I want to get into like the California Love drop, and this was recent, and that kind of just in this era of now you're back in like a sort of swing of releasing.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't very long ago. What month did this release?
California Love was
May. So this was like 3 months ago. So very recent release still. And I just wanted to kind of talk about like where you're at now, and also kind of like records moving forward for Lucas Roth. I know you got Sunset's album coming out, that surprise drop, but at the same time, like, do you still have some backstock for some Lucas stuff, or are you still writing? Or
I have a
what's your
song
plan?
that's in the works with Stravs right now.
Okay, so you're writing it with Stravs, or you just wrote it all and then brought it to him to produce?
So this is actually a song that me and Joey are going to do together as like Joey and Lucas, and it's not
like a collaboration track where he's like featured artists.
Yeah, it's something we just talked about recently. But I already recorded some of the bass and guitar for the record with Stravs, and it's just kind of like waiting until I have the money and I'm ready to go finish it. And then we're gonna bring Joey in on it.
Okay, that's exciting.
So I got one song with him ready, and then I got one song with Josh that's like
Kaleidoscope Kid Josh.
Yes, it's like finished, but it needs to be like finished.
Okay.
You know, it needs to be like mixed and kind of gone over just a little bit, and maybe change some of the structural stuff, where I'm going to take all of the waves and stems to Stravs, and we're going to sit down for like 2 or 3 hours, and we're just going to analyze it and maybe change some things here and there. And then I'm probably going to re-record all of my vocals for it.
Nice.
And that's the one that I have with Josh, Kaleidoscope Kid.
And that's what you're working on.
I was hoping to have that out this month, but it's looking like it's probably going to be this fall.
For sure.
Yeah, I was hoping to have that out soon, but I stopped working at Fry's officially like in June. So
recent.
Yeah, I was a produce manager after
After the yeah.
e-commerce thing, and
So they kept you on though.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, they didn't fire you over that. That's what's up.
No, they never fired me.
Good. So you're like, yo, just put it back to hourly.
Yeah. So they put me back to an hourly management position, and then in June, I just got fed up with their shit, and I just kind of like started like letting them know how I felt. They got sick of, me speaking out, because you know how upper management gets at like any type of like, like corporate job, where they're just like, they don't care about you.
Definitely not.
And I went and I started waiting tables again.
Okay. So that's what you're doing now.
And then I was supposed to go back, and I never went back.
Okay. So you're still currently waiting tables while you're like ramping up to release again?
Yeah, I'm waiting tables at Denny's right now.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I'm working at Denny's. I used to work there back in the day in the Voodoo days.
Yeah.
And then I've been waiting tables at Denny's again, and that's chill. I've always been a really good waiter. I make good tips. People enjoy when you're a personable guy. I'm very communicative and kind of like I'm very friendly when it comes to that kind of stuff, and I take care of people.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. So I guess like now it's just in writing and stuff like that. Are you kind of in that mode still, or are you just kind of focusing on work and just trying to make some money to finish the current records?
Kind of working to make some money to finish the current records,
yeah.
And finding myself and hitting some some roadblocks. I mean, I didn't let it hold me back initially because I was so mad.
What's that?
It was bad timing. I had just finished recording California Love with Stravs.
Yeah.
And my mom had a stroke.
Damn.
Yeah. So she had a really bad brain hemorrhage on New Year's morning.
Of 2025?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
So New Year's morning at like 4 a.m., that's what I woke up to. And that's how my year's gone so far. It's just been a lot of focus on work.
Is she okay now?
Yes, she's okay. She's in a rehabilitation, like physical therapy center, where she's living there right now because she still needs to work up some of her strength to be more independent before she can come home. But yeah, it's been a rough 7-8 months.
Damn, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, she's doing better, and that's what matters.
That's
so
exactly.
I didn't let that hold me back from doing the music video with Corey and really planning all that stuff out. I was just very adamant. Like I was like, I don't want another repeat, with like the whole "let your mind be free" thing. I was like, I want to make my mom proud. I want her to see me do something bigger, and I just went for it.
Yeah. Damn, man. Well, I mean, you're grinding, bro. I mean, it's your head's in the right spot. I mean, and I like that you don't force everything, because sometimes people feel like the pressure, and it like puts them in a position where they feel like they have to do something versus they get to do something.
Yeah, and that they start forcing it out sooner than they're ready. To do so. And I mean, I play a lot of the gigs, live and stuff, the cover gigs.
Yeah, and you're still doing that actively as well. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this before the camera started rolling, but it's pretty fucking hot right now. But kind of getting into like the next season now that like, I mean, it's still 110 right now, but in the next couple months, like it'll be kind of like that fall time, and you'll be playing live gigs again. I'm sure you're gonna be able to play some of your original music, and that's where people can kind of see you as well. If they want to see you play live, they can hit up your Instagram. And
I'm at Westgate Marketplace out there pretty often.
Yeah,
and,
that's in
Desert
the east,
Ridge,
the west side rather. Yeah, west side, Westgate,
Desert Ridge up north.
Yep.
And I haven't done Tempe Marketplace in a while.
You haven't? Okay. Well,
not in a while.
Yeah,
I've been there.
Yeah, for sure. That's in the same circuit. Yeah. What I really would just want to kind of like almost get to the point where we're kind of wrapping up and like sending people to the new stuff, because you have new music out. I mean, new music being California Love. So if people want to go run up the music video and go, the streams and all that stuff.
Check it out. I mean, I will say one of the highest selling points of that is I hired a very very beautiful and very professional and cool model to be in the music video with me. Yahira. I don't
Shout
know
out
if you watched
Yahira.
the music video or
I
not.
did.
Yeah, she's real cool. I remember doing a video project with her in like 2021, and
Okay.
I seen she was still doing her whole modeling thing. She's actually like really into like gaming industry stuff
Nice.
too.
Like streaming and stuff like that?
Yeah, like streaming like games and stuff.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I think she's even got like a tag on like her Instagram. Go check it out. Give her some support. But yeah,
For sure.
And she was definitely a high selling point for the music video. I wanted to bring somebody in to help me drive the storyline and the narrative, you know, going into the ending where it was like California love, you know, like I thought about it like, well, originally I wrote that song when I proposed to my ex-fiance out in California. We went out to California and I did the most, dog. I down on one knee in the Carlsbad flower fields, and yeah.
Did she? So she said yes, and then how long were you engaged?
It was about 5 or 6 months after that, tops.
Damn.
We just didn't vibe. She didn't want me to continue doing music. She thought that like me proposing to her was like me giving up like my passions.
So it was like an ultimatum.
And it was like almost like, my parents thought like, you know, you were going to, you know, calm down and be, you know, a good, you know, like. I
mean, give up what you love for the relationship.
Family boy, you know. I'm like, hey, you know, I have my mildly religious background, and I am very, you know, okay with that type of lifestyle too, but music's never going to stop.
Absolutely not.
The music's never going to stop.
Yeah.
And it's not, and some people, and especially, you know, you'll run into relationships and with the girls where they think that like, oh, you know, self-love and self-care is not dating a musician. And it's just like, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
I've met some of the most heartfelt, cool, and genuine people in the music industry. And the fact that this is just something that we love to do, that the reason I do it, I go out there and I play these gigs. I just like making people happy.
For sure.
And you know, I know that sounds cheesy, and a lot of people will be like, oh, you know, like
it's the truth.
But I just like making people happy.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's music. Like we said from the beginning, music is therapy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like even people that don't make it, there's something different when you hear it live and you see people playing, and especially when it's done with passion. And I mean, clearly you have passion for this craft, and that's something that I think even if the music is still, you know, on its way up, and you're still kind of finding yourself in a sense when it comes to being a solo artist, finding your lane and your sound. Really, I feel like you're still in those modes, and kind of like, because you only have 2 songs out, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're really early on this journey, even though you have so much experience, you know what I'm saying?
And like with like, especially like what I was saying, the whole relationship thing, you know, and like failed relationships. And like anything, you know, you're down, you're down, you're out, you feel like you can't go on. What is still there for you every single time? Music.
Yes, dude.
And what's still gonna be there when you don't want to show up, when this person doesn't want to show up for you, when that person doesn't want to show up for you and be there for you, like and in the moment, and be there for you emotionally and spiritually. What is still there for you?
Yeah.
Music was always there for me, and it's always going to be there for me as, you know, I can always fall back on that when all else isn't there. It's like, you know, same thing. It's like my family's always going to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, your family's always going to be there, and they're always going to be there for you. It's whether or not you want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, some people,
100%.
they estrange themselves from their family for years on end, you know. It's like, well, the end of the day, those people are always still there for you.
For sure. Yeah. And it's important that you have those values as well, because I think that's something that the core value of like a good person is like those family values. And but the music being there always, I think that's the key here, man. And it's like that's something that's a parallel for your entire life. You know, you've always had that vein of expression. I think that's it's very important that you've stayed true to that too. Like you never gave it up for anything or anyone, and it's that I feel like that says a lot about your drive to want to do this shit for real. And I'm, thankful that you took time to sit down and tell me your story, man, because it's so cool that like, I mean, we're so connected without even knowing each other all this time. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool to hear a little bit more about, your old projects and stuff, and like, that you've been doing the same thing here in the Valley for a while, and I never knew you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like everybody always connects in the end somehow.
For sure.
It's such a small world when it comes to the music scene, and it's kind of surprising every time.
Absolutely.
You come back, and you everything just kind of circles back.
For sure. Yeah, names and people, and you're like, oh my god, venues and all these little things where it's like we were all running in the same circles the whole time.
First gig I ever played with Sunset Voodoo, I think, was at the old Club Red.
Oh yeah, well, we played Club Red.
Yeah, it was the old club.
We played Club Red.
Club Red, Red Owl.
Before it was Club Red.
Remember? Well, you wouldn't remember this,
right?
Because you weren't here,
right?
Or I don't know if it was after you were here when it changed or not, but it used to be on University and Price.
Red Owl?
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you remember when it was
right there? I
don't
remember
there?
Location. I don't remember location.
There.
I remember playing Club Red.
You know where the Waffle House is right there?
No, I'm so bad at everything.
It's literally like University and Price, like right up here, because you're kind of right off.
I'm gonna block that out.
Yeah. No. I didn't give an exact.
Yeah.
I said you're just
in Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, dude, it's cool to like be so connected and kind of like get to know each other on like this platform. Because like I said, I didn't really even know Lucas before we even really got on camera. Like we've had like maybe 3 conversations before.
Yeah, I talked to you and Danny briefly over
for like
at the
15 minutes. Yeah,
and I showed you California Love, told you I was stoked about it coming out, and I was like, yeah, I got this song.
Yeah.
And then me and Josh are working on one, and then I remember just following you guys on the gram and seeing Danny doing his stuff. Danny,
man.
And I seen you guys, singing together on a couple of little like video tracks, and you guys kind of have your own little like you, Josh, and Danny, and I seen like a futuristic.
That's the homie
doing his like little like you guys kind of have your own little like network, little power team.
For sure, man.
I dig that kind of stuff, and I mean that's what I've been all about, and I got my own little power team too,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's
so
like
we all just need to come together and a massive force of a force to be reckoned with.
For sure, man. I think one thing is cool though, and I am proud to say, like the main vein that we all have is being on this podcast, and that's something that I really appreciate, to have the platform to bring all these people together in one place, because you can see a Lucas Roth interview, you can see a futuristic interview, you can see a Daniel Jordan K interview, Kaleidoscope Kid, 2022, Gunboy Kaz, Osmond Benjamin, some of like the goats of Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
and I really feel like that's important.
Yeah, you're choosing some really good artists to bring in here to really pop off a cool little brand you got. I dig that.
Thank you, man.
The On Mars thing, and you got and you got him right here.
Yeah,
we were just talking about him.
Yeah, Zach, he gave me that album shortly after the first episode that I did with him, which was almost 2 years ago now, which is crazy.
And that is a classic.
Dude, this is
Toto.
Dude, I got that at Goodwill for 99 cents. That's the album that Africa is on, dude.
Yeah. No,
and
I know.
That's fucking So it's all these albums share very
I have that one.
Hell yeah, dude. These are all special albums in my life. And a lot of them are still sealed. 3 of them.
Tame Impala. Oh, dude. I remember covering The Less I Know the Better when it first came. Yeah. When it first came out.
Yeah, for
Sunset
sure.
Voodoo, we covered that.
I love that song. But yeah, that was my first album I ever bought out here, The Chronic by
Oh,
Dr.
shit.
Dre.
The Chronic?
Yeah, it has the pot leaf on the middle of the vinyl. So when it spins, it's just like a spinning leaf. This is a signed Neighborhood album. I fucking love those guys.
Yeah.
Still Sealed, Demon Days, bro.
Dude.
Come
That's
on.
awesome.
Yeah.
Come on.
I got
Come on.
Come on, dude. You know, if you
Demon
know, you
Days.
know.
If
You know what I'm
you know.
saying?
Gorillaz. That was the shit.
That was one of my first albums, like growing up, where I was like, okay, like I love this shit, and I was a huge Gorillaz fan, and like in like 2004, you know,
Yeah.
like fourth grade type shit,
like I was saying,
Yeah.
like middle school, man, I started playing the guitar. I was teaching my buddies how to play the guitar, and we would jam out on that like old school, like funky, like guitar stuff that you heard on like rap samples that
Yeah.
like rappers were using for like their, for all of their albums in like the 80s and 90s. And
Yeah.
shit. You know, people take for granted that when they think of rap music and hip hop, and they think like, and they hear guitars and drums and stuff, and they're like, it's not rap. And it's like, dude, rap is and was and always was just a bunch of samples of like
old song, yeah,
Michael McDonald songs.
yeah, right,
like
right.
The whitest, goofiest mother
For real. No, that's so true, and like,
Yeah.
that's so true, man, and yeah, it's
keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like, and it's like that turned into Regulate.
Right.
Yeah, Regulate.
Yes, bro. Yeah.
That sample
Regulators.
is Regulate. Yeah,
Regulators.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the
it was with
what's the beginning? What does he say?
What's the name?
Warren G.
Yeah, it's Warren G. And who else?
Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Regulate is a Michael McDonald song.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's such a classic song too. And like I remember that like that beat. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, dude,
yeah.
that was like one of the earliest. It's like
And
yes,
that was what birthed rap and hip hop as we know it.
right.
And things like that, and the old like 70s like funky like rock samples and stuff, like those
Yeah.
guys were not stealing those people's music, because we're talking music history. It was all stolen from them to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yes, exactly.
Like we're talking like, all the old like Elvis Presley songs,
those are
like,
all stolen songs.
fucking stolen songs. Dude
Yeah.
stole those songs. And
For
he
sure.
was-
Back when like people
and he
even
was,
like thought about stealing, like
yeah,
like
and
they
he
didn't
was-
think about like all that shit. Where they're
and
like,
realistically, he was
who's gonna know? That was his vibe. He's like, who's gonna know that you wrote it?
And realistically, Elvis was a racist bastard.
Exactly, bro. People don't talk about that shit enough. They talk about the greatness of Elvis, but
Yeah,
they don't talk
greatness
about
of
all the
Elvis,
shit
yeah.
that he stole from the
and all the
fucking-
terrible comments
Yeah.
he made,
Yeah,
and
for
stuff
sure.
like that. But
Yeah, hey, that's
on
another
another
conversation.
level, a whole nother conversation, an entire other.
Yeah, but man, so to push people to the music, your Instagram, is it Lucas Roth Music? Is that what it is?
Lucas_Roth_music.
That's right. So
Yep.
we'll put the handle right here, you guys, my fellow Martians. You gotta go follow Lucas and follow up on his stuff. Like you said, there's a surprise Sunset Voodoo album. So
Coming out at the end of this month.
Exciting, dude.
Yeah, I
That's
got
so
7
exciting.
songs coming out. I've been focused on that too. Another reason why I kind of postponed. I got that song coming out with your boy Josh Kaleidoscope Kid.
That's right.
He did a really cool verse and outro for one of my next songs coming out.
Yeah,
Nightlife.
Okay.
Is the name of it.
There you go. So
Nightlife.
that's a drop right there. So
That one
look
should be
out for
coming
that
out
song.
later this year.
That's right.
And then I got another one I'm working on with Joey again in the studio. We'll be doing that. Hopefully have that out by the end of this year, maybe
Perfect.
early next year. I'm hoping to have a couple songs out before the end of this year.
Cool, man. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great year. Like I said, you guys got to go follow him, listen to his music, run up the numbers, And yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time to come on, for real,
Dude,
brother.
you having me, man. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Of course.
Likewise.
So, my fellow Martians, we love you so much. We'll see you next time on Mars. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this episode of the On Mars Pod, and for sticking around to the end, man. I really appreciate you guys. You are the real Martians. Like this video, comment below what your favorite part was, what was most inspiring to you. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications here on future interviews coming out soon, and also follow us on Instagram at On Mars Pod. Love you guys so much. We will see you next time on Mars.